Welcome to Say Like a Champ, episode 258. It's your boy A-Dub.
And your boy Strizzy. What's up, SLAC family? Welcome back, y'all.
Welcome back. Another week in sports, another episode of Say Like a Champ. And as always, we want to thank you all for rocking with us each and every week and dropping your submissions to the show in the comments. We appreciate y'all. Got some slackers in the building already. We got Unc checking in early. Hello from Texas. We got Stephanie Washington. What's good?
Yeah.
Hope to be seeing you soon. We also got Kelly Williams. Happy Tuesday.
What's up, Kels?
So that's what's up. Welcome in everybody to the show. And as we always do, like a little bit of a check-in real quick before I want to check in with my boy Strizzy. Fresh shirt. I don't know if that's a sponsorship shirt or not, but that's pretty dope. But what's good with you, man? How you doing?
Not much, man. Honestly, I don't remember where I got a shirt from. It's not a sponsorship shirt, but I don't remember where I got it. You be told.
That's what's up.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, everything's good over here. You know what I'm saying? I officially have two teenagers. My youngest just turned 13 yesterday, so happy birthday to Lily.
Yes, happy
twin,
birthday.
You know what I'm saying? That's my twin. So, shouts out to her. Nothing crazy. We, she's like, she didn't really want a birthday party. They're getting older, so now they just want expensive things, right?
Right.
So now she wants a whole ass computer. You know what I'm saying? So she wants a computer for her birthday. No parties no more. So we'll probably go ahead and drop her one of those. But aside from that, man, everything is really, really cool. Just kind of chilling and going along. What about you, bro?
Nothing much really. Same old. Like everything's good. Just keeping things moving, for sure.
Yeah.
And just enjoying life, man. But it's definitely going by pretty fast. As we talk about, especially once football season gets going, it always seems to speed up, and we're closing in on that. So that's what's up. We also got Pops in the building. Good evening. But yeah, definitely a big Say Like a Champ as well. All welcoming, or saying happy birthday to Lily as well. Stephanie said the older they get, the more expensive the gift. Yeah, for sure.
Right, never lied.
You ain't gonna get away with no nothing little anymore.
For real.
It's too funny.
I miss the birthdays at Great Skate. You know what I'm saying?
Something simple.
Birthdays at Peter Piper. You feel me?
Yeah. Yes, exactly. That's all we really needed. You know what I'm saying? Just bring all the tickets back to the table. You know what I'm saying? Count them up. Those were the days. All right. Let's go ahead and pull up our graphics real quick and go ahead and get into our show. But yeah, I'm going to start off with, a little Olympic update. Now we did, we talked about the opening ceremonies and everything of last week, but I did want to do a little bit of an Olympic medal update. United States in the lead as far as gold medals. Again, this was this afternoon, so it might have changed already, but is in the lead as far as total medals, but actually trailing China by 1 for gold medals. So I want to get I'm hoping that they can win, get the most gold and of course the most medals, but it looks like the most medals is locked up because they're way out ahead in that one. So we did see some of the running, which was dope. Sha'Carri Richardson coming back, bouncing back, getting a silver medal after not being able to go to Tokyo. I mess with her. I'm glad that she was able to come back and compete. Relatively drama-free, but I was hoping that she would get the gold. But apparently her and another runner, I don't know if you heard about this, but they had were not able to get access through the main gate. They had to walk around or something before their time.
Yeah.
I saw that. That was pretty crazy. I don't exactly understand, but I think it's because they weren't staying in the Olympic Village, so they couldn't pass through or something. Yeah,
it's weird, man. I saw that too, and I saw too that it was a last second rule change. So I feel like from what the original rule was, they should have been able to get through and warm up and all that stuff, whatever. But apparently, because of that last second rule change, they weren't able to get through. So, I get kind of BS in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know, man. It's kind of weird.
Definitely a glimpse too of into all the logistics and the things behind the scenes that they have to deal with to get ready and go. And Olympics definitely isn't waiting around for anybody, but that is kind of messed up. The other girl that had that happen to her, just dropped out of the race. She just didn't even run because she didn't have a chance to warm up. She was like, I'm not even going to go out there and do that. So that's crazy. Yeah, Stephanie said they didn't have to walk an hour like everyone keeps saying. Oh, okay. So that was part of it, that they said they had to go around and it was an hour. But maybe that part of the story is not exactly true that was that long. But either way, they were kind of later, didn't get the chance to warm up fully, I guess.
Yeah, it's kind of whack.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. On the golf side, golf wasn't really like too covered too crazy, but no surprise, Scotty Scheffler bringing home the gold, which is dope, adding to an incredible year for him in golf. And just kind of, that chance has to align. Obviously, the Olympics doesn't happen all the time, but he did so great this year, and then to win Olympic gold is pretty dope. So, was there betting on that? Can you bet on the Olympics like that?
Yeah.
Was golf on there? Because that's one
of
them.
I felt dumb too because I was like, I don't know why. I was like, I should have put it on Scotty again, like I always do. Like no matter what it is lately, it's even if he's not the favorite, which he usually is, I usually bet Scotty. But
yeah,
you know what I'm saying, Olympics, Masters, whatever it is, it don't matter, man. Scotty Scheffler and foe, don't you know what I'm saying? It don't matter. It is a beat, man. But yeah, I think there's been betting, I think, on almost every outcome, if not every sport. I didn't see the breakdancing on there, but I think pretty much everything else has been like it's been up there.
Gotcha. I'm not sure if breakdancing has happened yet or started yet, so maybe it'll still be on there. I don't know.
I thought it started yesterday. I could be wrong.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
I definitely want to check out who ends up getting gold in that.
Yeah.
I want to welcome
my friends, one of my closest friends, really good friends, is actually there. He's actually competing in the Olympics. He's a really real popular Arizona b-boy. So I thought that was actually really cool. I don't know him too well. I have met him before, but I don't really know him too well. He's there, yeah.
That's so funny because I was going to ask you because somebody I follow on Instagram, and I think it's from your side of the crew, was like posting about it or something, or I follow that person too, and I was actually meant to be asking about you that. So that's really cool.
Yeah. So he's there. He's just competing in the first ever b-boy competition in the Olympics, which is actually really dope. Like
that's insane.
Yeah, it's actually really cool, man. So low key rooting for him just because he's a friend of a good friend. So yeah, we'll see how it works out. But I saw a couple people videos of some of the competition warming up, and they nice, dog. You know what I'm saying? They real nice with it. So it's gonna be interesting for sure.
That's what's up. I'm excited for that. I do want to welcome Grace to the show. What's good? And Stephanie saying no, she was injured. It wasn't missing warm-ups. See, so all these circumstances come together to make a different story. Mm-hmm. And that's why I was kind of curious about, because you never really know on the interweb. So I appreciate Stephanie Washington getting to the bottom of that for us. Yep. And clearing that up a little bit. I like that. I was wondering what else other stories that people had liked out there or other sports they're looking forward to. Unk says 3-versus-3 basketball. It's crazy. I think the U.S. women's got bronze in 3x3.
Yeah.
And Dearica Hambry, she's on there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's the rookie. And now I'm forgetting her name. The rookie for the Sparks was going to be on the 3-versus.
She was supposed to, yeah.
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 There you go. Yeah.
Yep.
So, but that's pretty cool. And then the U.S. men's, they're not very good, but most of them have day jobs, and then it was just them and Jimmer Fredette. So yeah, he was the only one with professional basketball experience, which I don't understand why we don't just put a badass 3-on-3 team too. Why don't we dominate that too?
And if not already NBA players, players from the actual 3v3, big.
Yeah, Ice Cube, yeah.
Ice Cube should be sending them over because I know Michael Beasley's squad is legit. They're nice, you know what I'm saying? So yeah. I can imagine Mike Beasley wanting to go over there and show everybody he still got because dude's a monster. It's weird that his NBA career just didn't work out for him.
Because, it was his mentality, or his personality, I guess. But
yep. Exactly.
He's a super baller, though. Everybody he went,
everybody still talks about just how good he is and how they just don't understand. All the podcasts going up. Everyone constantly asks, is Beasley really like that? And I'm Beasley's smooth. No sense of why he couldn't, why his NBA career didn't work out. But the dude is still putting buckets up on anybody, active or retired. It don't matter.
Right. I would love to see a 3-on-3, Ice Cube being the manager, how Jerry Colangelo was the manager of U.S. basketball. him have like a different branch for that, and then put some former NBA players over there. That'd be dope.
For sure.
Stephanie said all the cool new sports don't get primetime air. I noticed, and that's crazy. I just feel like almost too. Maybe the Olympics is too compact because I feel like everything's just happening on top of each other. You can't really sit and enjoy it. It's almost like they should have it sectioned off more a little bit or something like, they kind of did the swimming and stuff like that, but maybe just stretch it out or do the field sports or the competition team sports a little bit separate or something. I don't know. I just think it's a lot to cover.
Very true. Like I understand like wanting to get the main stuff that you don't really get to see, right? Like all of the track and field stuff, those are always really big. The gymnastics is always super big. And then, obviously men's, basketball and soccer, those are always like the major ones. But like, I'd be disappointed if we didn't get to see a lot of the like I get to see any of the real golf stuff. I can see any of that.
Right.
Same thing with the b-boying. Like I know a lot of that's a big the dance community is huge. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
And it's new. Make sure you get a lot of those things because if it doesn't work out, it's not going to bring people back. But I think you guys are both right. Like it's kind of weird that we're not seeing a lot more coverage on, especially a lot of these new ones, because you're gonna want to continue to build them. You know what I mean? And it's kind of the same thing with the USA women's team. Like I know they keep talking about it, like, leaving off Caitlin Clark was a bad mistake. You know what I mean? I think it really was like from an eyes on us point of view. You know what I mean? I think it was a really, really big mistake to leave her and Angel Reese off. They should have brought both of them in. I think they would have gotten so much more coverage for it. But I don't know, man. WNBA still figuring out how to be a bigger business, I guess. You know what I mean? And they're still figuring things out.
Yeah, most definitely. Unk says handball. I don't know if you were watching any handball. I know Anthony Weston was saying that one too.
Yeah.
Stephanie said, I've been watching religiously, so never saw a bit of golf. See, that's how I felt too. Like I was like looking for it too. And then they're just like, Scotty Scheffler wins golf. It was just like,
exactly.
They're out there in the
and I was like, what?
I'm like, I had no idea where they were at. So it was crazy. Stephanie said, I think it's sad that Olympians don't make a whole lot of money when they medal $37K for a gold. I know. So that's like the U.S. and they were comparing it to some of the other countries. Like some people is like 500,000, like crazy amount of money, especially if you dedicate your life to that and you're not really like getting paid,
Right.
But
like unless you have some type of, I know a lot of the smaller countries pay a lot more for medaling, but I know it's kind of like, they have the money for it because they're not really medaling. You know what I'm saying? Like, I imagine the U.S. is not going to pay you $500,000 every time you medal. When I know there are some smaller countries that are. I was looking at there was a post in regards to what the athletes make, and some countries it's a lot, but you have to get one of those medals. You know what I'm saying? And that's not easy to do when you've got powerhouses like us, China, and France. You know what I'm saying? Just constantly up there and just grabbing everything. You know what I mean? So it's tough, man. Like you said, like all the people who train their whole lives for this, just to even just qualify, let alone make it. It's difficult.
It is. It is crazy. And I was watching some track and field earlier, and I was thinking about that too. Though, like, can you imagine being the best in your country, and then you go and you just get like dusted, like you just like I was watching one of the longer races, like the 800 meter or whatever. It was like the 2 miles or whatever, and it's like they're like falling back, and it's like, dang, I'm the best in my whole country or whatever. And then you get to that next level, it's like it is pretty crazy competition.
Yeah.
So
it is. Wild.
76 can't even afford rent and working multiple jobs. Yeah, especially like it's like we think about the high profile athletes, but you know how many people on that boat were like so like crazy to be around LeBron or Steph Curry or like the NBA players. Like they're not all like we think of like the higher end, that they're rich and they have everything, but that's not the case for the majority. So,
bro, you look at LeBron now is I think the only billionaire. He's worth 1.2 billion now. Like to ever make it to the Olympics or whatever. Like LeBron probably easily take off the combined income of all the NBA players. Like he probably makes more money than everybody on that boat. You know what I'm saying? Like seriously, when you really think about it, like
crazy.
Not everybody on that boat is Simone Biles. You know what I mean? And her stuff is pretty much all endorsements. It's not You know what I'm saying?
Not
Like
from the medals, yeah.
exactly. You know what I mean? So it's like it's crazy. You know what I mean? To be just for the the NBA team, they probably take it for granted a little bit. Because in their heads they should be blowing everybody out by 20, which has been great to see. You know what I mean?
Right.
Obviously, all of those guys are multi-millionaires because they have the biggest contracts in the league, minus maybe Derek White and, I'm saying, my boy Drew. But, like,
Right.
everybody else on there is
Big paid.
paid, I'm saying, big money, you know what I mean? So, yeah, man, it's definitely got to be tough, that's for sure.
Speaking of big money, though, Snoop out there doing his thing.
Yeah.
Reports that he's making, I think it was $500,000 a day.
$500,000 a day.
Which is insane. But it's like, can you imagine, like, to get to that level of, like, you're just being yourself and you get to enjoy something that you would have enjoyed for free, but you're getting paid for it,
Yeah. And I think the 500,000 is on top of expenses paid. So, like, he's not paying for anything going on the trip on top of just getting make $500K a day. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's all.
Kelly said he's been worth every penny for sure.
USA mascot, dog. Like,
yeah,
the mascot for the USA.
Exactly. They were like calling him Uncle Snoop, or like saying like he was like grandpa, like the USA is like grandpa, which is like so funny. Yeah, Stephanie said Snoop has been a highlight. I just love to see it though too for him. Like he's just always kind of been himself, but been so marketable and like come so far. Like he has like worldwide appeal. Like nobody hates on Snoop.
Yeah, oh for sure.
That's
everybody's uncle.
Exactly. That's too dope. All right, let's do a quick update on the Team USA basketball side. So I know we were watching these closely today. The men's took out Brazil, and tomorrow actually the women's are playing Nigeria, which should be pretty gangster. But we're getting into the actual knockout stage now.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool. I have the finals for the men's is France, Germany, and United States versus Serbia. And out of those four, who do you think is the biggest threat to the U.S.? I mean, this is like the four top teams, though. I would think these are kind of the more dangerous teams. But out of those four, who do you think is the biggest threat?
Germany, easily. You know what I mean? I don't. It's kind of crazy to think about. You know what I mean? With Joker on Serbia and Bogdanovic. You know what I mean? But I for whatever reason, when it comes to like FIBA play, and they proved it obviously in the last FIBA Cup, like. They're tough, man. Like they play really, really hard defense. Like they obviously they know the FIBA rules very well. And the NBA players on that team, they all they lead them very, very well. So it's kind of crazy to kind of think that like Germany right now, in my opinion, is number 2. France, they had a big win against Canada, which is also a really big team. You know what I mean, as far as like NBA talent. And Jamal Murray plays a little bit better, and they probably win that game. You know what I mean? Like he had a horrible game, another horrible game. He's been horrible.
He started off bad.
Yeah, he's been pretty bad, like all Olympics. But you know what I mean? He plays a little bit. They probably win that game. But I just don't think France, from a guard point of view, I don't think they have enough to beat Germany. I think Germany's going to take them. I think we'll see a closer game than the last time they played Serbia, maybe, but I still think U.S. takes this game as well and gets us back to the finals. And then it'll be another, I don't know, well, not even a rematch because were we fourth place in FIBA?
Yeah.
I don't think we even came in third. Like, so it's
no, but they lost to Germany on the way to it, I think.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, so it's like, so I just mean like in general, like it's not necessarily a finals rematch, but we definitely got to get our get back. That's for sure.
Yeah. It's crazy that it's like Dennis Schroeder too, just like pushing the pace and like leading that team, like kind of still shows like how valuable he can be.
Dog, I almost feel like he should just play for Germany. like bro he is really good in FIBA play. Like he is a way better FIBA player than he is in the NBA. Not saying he's not a good NBA player, because he is halfway decent. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
it's just funny seeing some of these guys, in world play, if you will, compared to the NBA play.
Yeah, most definitely.
So even on the Australia team, Australia team too, like like Patty Mills had like 25 and like 9 or something like that the other night.
Just like, balling out.
Yeah, I was like, we're and Josh Giddey, same thing too. He had another 25 points as well, like on that in that same game. So it's like, hey, y'all really hooping out here. Don't be showing none of this. Like, where was this game when he was playing for Miami for me last season? Like, what?
Exactly.
Crazy.
Exactly. No, I agree. I think it is pretty cool to see that though, and to see how far that they can kind of like will their team. So
Yeah,
we'll see. But the men's gold medal game is on Saturday, and the women's is on Sunday. So fully expecting U.S. to be bringing home the gold on both sides in this one. But we will be rooting for it's Promise.
yeah. Promise is there.
Yeah, we'll be rooting for her in the for Nigeria though.
Yeah, man, it's huge for them. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's, this is definitely their toughest test. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure they would have liked to play, the USA women a little later down the road, but still, just getting to the quarterfinal and elimination play in general is huge. And shouts out to them. Actually, it's pretty dope.
Yeah, for sure. All right, I think a little bit more NBA talk. But real quick, Unc says Chris Jackson, Jamal Crawford, Steven Jackson would make an awesome 3 versus 3 team for the Olympics. They would like punk everybody that they played.
Yeah, it'd be rough. I don't know how well Steven Jackson is still moving. Is he still hooping on 3-on-3? Like, he is
I don't know.
I'm not sure if he is, but I think honestly, like, my 3 right now would probably be like Michael Beasley, Joe Johnson, because Joe Johnson's hooping really
Joe
well
Johnson's a beast.
still.
Yeah.
And probably Jamal Crawford. And if not Jamal Crawford, then man, what's old boy's name? Point guard from Kansas, played for Miami too. Oh man, he's still playing really, really well as well. And Ice Cube's 3-on-3.
I don't know.
John Blank. He went to Kansas. Big shot for the championship. Wasn't even that long ago. Oh man.
I don't know. We're gonna have to let it come to us because I don't know.
Oh man,
and he's in 3-on-3 right now.
Yeah, he's on. I think he plays with Beasley. I think he plays with Mike.
Gotcha. Dang, I don't know. But you would even have. I think they have like 6 people on the roster, 7 people. So
yeah, oh yeah,
you could put together a pretty dope team for sure. Paul Pierce says. He was the truth for a little bit, but not no more. But the other thing, the other NBA story I did want to talk about really quick was the NBA on TNT. Now, we've talked a little bit about them potentially going away for next year. They had the right to match one of the offers that the NBA got on their new media rights package.
Yeah.
And they matched it, but the NBA declined the match and is still going to go with, they matched Prime Video's offer. So the NBA is going to be moving away from TNT.
Yeah.
But it looks like Charles Barkley has kind of wavered. Originally, he said, okay, this is going to be my last season on there because he just wanted to close it out with the NBA. But now he's saying he's going to stick with TNT and do other things. What do you think that looks like for Charles Barkley if he stays with TNT as a broadcaster, but they don't have the NBA?
I think Charles in general is just he's one of the funner, just one of the more fun analysts in regards to just sports in general. We've seen him on NCAA stuff. We've seen him even go to golfing events as well. Just stuff like he's one of US's national treasures, in my opinion. And I always thought like it would really suck not having him, anymore. And I was really disappointed with the NBA not staying with TNT because they're literally the favorite. I don't think there's anybody in television in regards to broadcasting who's more famous or more loved than these 4 here. So
especially associated to a sport so closely.
Exactly. They're the most fun. They're the most hilarious. They're it's not listening to Skip. I almost said a bad word. Saying Skip Bud or even Stephen A's annoying self. Like these guys, 3 out of the 4 played. Who doesn't love Ernie Johnson, dog? Like,
Yeah.
Like he was also just one of the most loved dudes up there. So I was actually really disappointed to see them not stick with them. But like I'm kind of happy about it. I think Chuck can do so much more than just NBA. But like, did they mention if it's going to be all 4 of them sticking around, or if it's just going to be?
So yeah, so Charles Yeah, so Charles is the only one that said so far, and that was what I was gonna ask you too. Like, I could see Shaq showing up like on one of these other ones, especially like Prime Video, right? Like the same
Yeah,
way with them, they got the NFL Thursday night. They had to start like a whole new crew, right? They got Kirk Herbstreit, but they like had like they started a whole new thing, whole new broadcast. I feel like if they offered him something to be like, yo, be our anchor for like our NBA coverage, like he
right.
would go do that, you know.
Yeah,
Um Ernie Johnson, I don't know, like I don't know if he would step away from TNT, but he's got to be a voice somewhere, right? So
yeah, for sure.
I could see them all landing somewhere else except for maybe Chuck staying behind and just doing the, like you said, doing the tournament coverage because they'll still have NCAA tournament games, you know, and they'll have some other things like golf, you know. So we'll see. Pop
Yeah,
said their pregame show is childish and unprofessional to be. Charles is liked and he can do hockey, college basketball. Yeah, for sure. But the thing is, it was almost like more transparent and more authentic because it's like it came off as childish and unprofessional at times because of how they played on each other.
yeah.
But I do like the fact that it was like more in tune with like that's what the audience wanted, like how they would quickly respond to tweets and stuff like that, or they would like make it part of the show. Like I
Yeah,
do think it was just like a different, like they didn't take themselves too seriously.
yeah. And I think that's what makes it fun. I think the number one reason, like you said, they're so personable, right? Like it reminds me of just me, you, and Marcus getting together and joking and cracking jokes and having fun, right? Talking about sports. Like that's why I believe it was so personable because it's relatable, right? So I think that's like I definitely get what Pops is saying because yes, it's not like any other pregame show or just show
Right.
in general, but when it gets down to it and come halftime and they're talking about the ins and outs and some of the X's and O's, things of that nature. Plus you always get to get the kind of the inside scoop of these guys, they played themselves.
Right.
Um and all three at a high level. Two of them are multi champions. You know what I'm saying? The only thing standing in Chuck's way of it being champion was Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
she'd have one too. But yeah, man, they're just the funnest bunch to watch to me.
Yeah.
Not having them is gonna kind of suck. It's they're just fun to watch.
Right. But I believe this year will be their little like swan song, kind of like last year. I think it is coming up.
Yeah.
And before I think this starts in the 2025 season. So
Right.
I think we got one last chance at it. But yeah, I agree. I think there'll be even more crazy probably this year coming up. Unk says Skip Bayless is an unhappy person. I definitely would agree. Anthony Weston, welcome to the show. Better late than never. He said, "Are they going to Prime?" So no. So Charles has said he's going to stay. The others have not said, but it'll be like a new iteration of whatever if they go together or they go separately. I do think Prime will be interesting to see. Also, NBC Sports, they had the basketball a long time ago, but
Yeah.
are they going to come back strong? They got the cool music for it, but I don't know. that part's gangster, but they gotta come with it. And honestly, ESPN obviously is always going to have it, but they don't have the best commentators though.
They don't. They really don't.
It sucks, but I do think though, even with like commentators aside though, ESPN usually has the best like camera angles and graphics and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They have like all that on lock. It's just they can't get announcers. Same with like Monday Night Football.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit better. Pop says I hope Prime does better. We'll see. Anthony Weston says Prime is probably gonna have Tom Tolbert and Chris Webber, two guys nobody wants.
Yeah.
I can see it. The other NBA news that happened this week, it kind of was announced kind of late, but last Friday they did a statue unveiling of Kobe and Gigi's statue.
Yeah, dude, love it.
And it's pretty gangster. I like that they're like this is like a kind of a homage to when they went to a game together at Staples Center. So they're on the folding chairs, kind of like front row, but then they have like the angel wings around them, and then like if you see, I guess this wasn't the best picture, but there's like a planter around it too, so it's kind of up on a pedestal. I think it's pretty gangster. And this is going to be the second of 3 statues. So the other one is going to have Kobe, the older Kobe, in the number 24 jersey, but they already unveiled the number 8, and then this one for Gigi. But yeah, what did you think of the statue?
I loved it. You know what I mean? Like I again, like we know this moment in time. We've seen it many times before. So I thought that this one was really, really dope to essentially honor both of them. You know what I mean? And I don't know. It's just great statue, and just reminded of Kobe and just how much of a girl dad he was. Put Phil girl dad in air quotes, if you will, but man, like he talks about all the time, just how good she was at her age, and talks about how better in basketball she was at her age than he was, which is probably stretching a little bit, you know what I'm saying? But for him to say that pays homage just how great of a father he was to, and how much confidence that he had in her and her ability, and making her just feel good about herself as a basketball player. And he's also mentioned before, if he could have nothing but girls or more girls, he would have, you know what I mean? So it's a huge to give Gigi a statue as well, but also just pays more tribute to just how great of a person, basketball player, and father Kobe Bryant was. So I love this. The statue's phenomenal with me. I'm not sure what the third one's gonna. You said the third one's like it's one of the older Kobe ones, but
yeah, like number 24 or something. Yeah.
But depending on what that was gonna look like, this one definitely might be my favorite. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's super dope, and it's just I'm glad they did something of like a real scene, because it's funny. I remember this game and like how big of a deal it was, for him to be like coming back to watch the Lakers and stuff like that. Because when Kobe first retired, like he kind of went away from the Lakers for a little bit. Like he had to like, kind of separate himself a little bit. It wasn't like he was like hanging around. And so, as somebody that, like, especially like Pops and I, like over the years, like pretty much watched like every single Lakers game. Like when he would come back, like it would always be a big deal, like that he was coming to watch. And him bringing Gigi and like kind of him even talking about like, that he had kind of stopped watching the NBA afterwards because he was just kind of done with it. And then like her interest in it got him back into it and like breaking down the game and kind of watching. And even there's some clips from this game where he's like kind of pointing things out.
Exactly. Yeah.
Super gangster. So I thought that was a great moment to kind of capture and bring forward. So great job. I think this one was better received than the first one as well too. So all right, let's keep things moving here. Quick baseball update. The White Sox has been historically bad. They actually tied the AL record for most losses in a row with 21 losses. And I'm kind of hoping that they break the streak, only because I'm just not the biggest White Sox fan, like with them being right there next to the Royals. I think 24 is the longest losing streak, which is pretty crazy because in baseball, you're going to win at some point, you're going to win. But they've been really, really bad. And especially it hasn't helped that they traded away so many of their players.
I was going to say, they definitely threw in the towel on the season. And I saw something, just another gambling stat that if you would have put $100 on them on game one and just continue to put it towards them losing during this win streak, you'd be up like 400,000 or something like that.
Dang, that's crazy.
That is wild, dog. So like, I think it was like 200,000 at like the 20th loss. So 21th loss would have put them at like 400,000. It just doubles every time. So that's crazy. Like just thinking about that.
Yeah, that is pretty crazy, but it's funny when they do those type of things where it's like you just keep it rolling, but it's like, not a bad idea to bet against them at this point.
NBA's coming up, so I find somebody on a bad losing streak, I'm going with it.
Right, exactly. See where it goes. Also another interesting story, kind of touching story, sad, scary story. Freddie Freeman, I don't know if you saw this, but his son Max, his 3-year-old son, had a case of, I think it's called Guillain-Barré syndrome, where it started out with him kind of like having like a strange limp, and then it ended up in like full body paralysis. He had to spend 8 days in the ICU. But Freddie Freeman is now back with the team. He had kind of left the team, obviously, to be there with his son. But his son is now home. And when he came back with the team, they had some shirts for him honoring his son Max, and also just kind of him, kind of a tip of the hat, and everybody just kind of supporting him with what he's going through, because that is just so scary. So I think it's a great story that he's back home, but he still has a long road to recovery. So we'll see like how they kind of use this opportunity to kind of push things forward, because he talked about already like wanting to do more for different families. And he's like, I'm here in this ICU, right? And I'm just like one of like, it's full of different people and different going through so much. So that is just like, yeah, such a scary story for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely crazy, man. Like, you know, there's a lot of parents. There's a lot of parents out here. You know what I'm saying? Like, just in with us, and I know, you know, something happens to your child, no matter how small or big, it's always a scary situation. You always want to make sure that they're okay, and something like that being so serious, you know what I mean? Like, you know, you knock on wood and pray every day, just how kind of blessed and lucky we are to never have to go through, you know, something like that. Um, but yeah, man, it's crazy. I can't imagine what, you know, him and the rest of the family are going through. But glad his son is back at home, and you know, I'm sure he's kind of somewhat glad to have a little bit of normalcy back, kind of being back with the team and things of that nature. But yeah, it's scary stuff.
Yeah, most definitely. So we'll be rooting for Max though, and kind of keeping a little bit of interest in that story. Another follow up, they actually replaced the statue that was stolen, the Jackie Robinson statue that was stolen,
Yeah.
and we didn't talk about it last week, but early last week, it came out that the person who had stolen the statue was what had been arrested. There was like a series of other crimes that this person had committed as well. And so they pled guilty and they were sentenced to 15 years for this crime and a combination of the other crimes that they had committed. So pretty crazy, but it's just interesting that they like did find the person. We rarely see like things like this actually come to a resolution like that.
For sure.
But 15 years is pretty crazy. I'd be interested to see like how many years he would have gotten like without like
Pleading guilty.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Because you know there was some type of, you know, deal in that, so he probably pled guilty for a deal of 15. So I'm with you. I'm curious what he would have got without the deal if he would try to go like, to a trial or something. That's a lot of years, dog.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Or like, what are those other crimes? Because there wasn't really too much detail, but that's pretty wild. But definitely cool to see them be able to replace that statue. And I guess the original statue, they had a mold of it still so that they could basically just make the same thing again. So even though that artist has passed on now, they're still able to kind of recreate one. So all right. Next up, we have college football real quick. So the official AP coaches poll has come out. Now, this is the real one that came out yesterday. And kind of similar to the one we saw before, but a little bit of movement. Georgia is still at number 1, followed by Ohio State, Oregon, Texas, and then Alabama. Michigan drops all the way down to 8, even though they're the defending champions. Anything you're surprised by, or I guess we kind of talked about it a little bit before, but anything you're surprised by on this list, or anything you're kind of excited to see this year for college football?
Not too surprised, honestly. I mean, I think we always talk about just how high Notre Dame always is. You know what I mean? It never makes any sense to me. Kind of same with Texas a little bit. I understand why, because of last year's the way it ended, but I kind of feel like because they're in the SEC this year, right? They're in the SEC, right?
Yeah.
So like that's the only reason why I kind of feel like it's like, why are they? I feel like, you know, they're in a different world this year. You know what I mean? So to be that high in the SEC and haven't played a game in the SEC yet, I kind of thought they'd be a little bit lower. But you know, hats off to them. You know, they were a really, really good team last year. Really, really good team last year. So I'm not like super surprised, just you know, a tiny bit. But aside from that, really, OU they gotta change. They gotta change a lot, you know, before they start kind of getting back up there again. I think. Same thing with them being the SEC. They have a lot to prove as well.
Yeah. That's going to be a tough schedule. Well, with a lot of these expanded conferences, it's going to be new tough schedules that we haven't seen before.
Yeah.
Even like Oregon having to play like Michigan and Ohio State and stuff like that.
For sure.
Pretty crazy. Anthony says, can Miami actually live up to the hype? I hope so. Like, I just feel like college football is a better place when Miami is doing good, you know?
100%, completely agree.
Like, it's just one of those things where it's not natural to see them be so bad. So
I know.
I'm interested to see what happens with U of A, with, you know, their coach leaving.
Yeah.
You know, how do they bounce back, or do they keep it going? Because they were actually a really, really good team last year.
Exactly. That's always what stinks is, like, you know, you get a good coach, go to a program, and you make them so much better. and 9 times out of 10 they're gonna jump ship for a bigger football school any chance they get, or to the NFL.
Right.
But yeah, that's rough. You know what I mean? Like, there's a really good chance they won't be as good next year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
this
for sure.
that's just not next year.
But we are only, that's true. We are only about 3 weeks away from week 0, so college football is right around the corner.
Yep.
We'll see some of these rankings start to change all the way. Anthony West, coach lies and says he's staying too. Yeah, for sure.
Exactly.
He went in front of the team and was like, "Look, I'm here. I'm committed." The next day, they were like, "Yo, Washington, he gone."
Yeah. Gotta say the right things, apparently.
Another interesting NCAA story, though, which is pretty cool. So FIU Sports, I don't know if you've seen this, but a first of its kind sponsorship. Pitbull actually bought the naming rights to FIU's stadium, and it's going to be called Pitbull Stadium, which is pretty gangster to me. But he's actually paying $1.25 million for a 5-year deal, and then he has the option to do it for another 5 years if it's successful. So. I'm like, do you think
performing opening day? Then I bet.
I was gonna say, so they did talk about he wants to help with NIL deals, some different sponsorship things, but also in this deal, he gets to use the stadium 10 times rent free for like events, concerts, whatever he wants. So I don't know. They didn't say if it was like 10 times through the life of the contract or like 10 times a year or whatever, but it's almost like that alone could be, if he did some concerts in there, he could make his money back.
Easy. Especially in Florida. Come on, dog.
I know. I'm like, that's actually pretty cool. And it's like FIU is like in Miami, like it's kind of like a local thing. He's Mr. 305. So
you know what I'm saying? Mr. 305. That's crazy.
But I'm wondering if this is going to be a trend, and if it's going to be, start to become like different named stadiums, like in different places.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That would be. I think it's kind of smart for him though. It's marketing, like it's just keeping him out there too. He does a lot of business deals.
Could you imagine if it's 10 times a year? Like, he throws a little concert. He knows a bunch of performing artists too. Get together, do a couple of different things.
He could make $1 million.
He gets the money. Oh my god, yeah, dude. That'll pay for that. Was it 1.5?
Well, so it's 1.5 a year, or I think it's 1.5 a year. If he does 1.2 million a year, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah,
because they said the total lifetime deal would be $12 million if he does the full 10 years. So
easily get that money back.
Yeah, I'm like, dang, that's crazy. Anthony West says, "Remember when the Cardinals are going to be called Pink Taco Stadium?" Yeah, that name didn't go very far. Anthony West says Taylor Swift is going to do it. Yeah, just rename the Chiefs Stadium. There you go. He said Taylor will be able to buy all the NFL stadium naming rights.
Kansas City Swifties. That's crazy.
Exactly. But I think this is a pretty cool deal. Like, I think it's pretty dope. So we'll see. But Pitbull's into all kinds of business investments. He even has a NASCAR team and everything. So he does a lot. All right, let's keep this thing moving. Real quick, so training camps are getting into that time where we're actually having inter-squad practices, and along with that comes a lot of squabbles, you know what I'm saying, a lot of little skirmishes. But I still think it's stupid to punch somebody with a helmet on, even if they do have the Guardian cap on.
For real.
But this was Malik Neighbors getting involved in a little bit of a skirmish. But it's pretty cool because this time means that it's time for, some more preseason games. This weekend, all the NFL teams will be having some preseason action. So they're finally going to get to hit somebody else instead of their own team, which will be cool.
Yeah. These things are always crack me up. Like, it's football. Fights within the team happen. But it always kind of cracks me up because, like, why do this, man? Like, what for? Was this an in-team scrimmage or was this the New York Giants versus what's called scrimmage?
There was the Lions against the Lions.
Oh, okay. I know there was also a skirmish there was a shared dual practice in the Giants. Somebody else that I think Daniel Jones initiated.
Yeah.
But like, this cracks me up because I'm like, why even take a chance at, like you said, breaking your hand or hurting one of your teammates this close to the season? You know what I'm saying? Like, we see it too often where like a defensive or offensive player gets hurt in practice, and it's always like season ending. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
dog, like just be smarter, man. You want to get hot, cool. Take it out on the next play, but get to an actual fight just never makes sense to me. Like, there's too much to lose, in my opinion, when you're at this level, right?
Yeah.
Like high school is whatever. Like y'all got money on the line. Like like knock that crap off.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Like you said, you're a professional at this point. You're gonna only be hurting yourself.
Seriously.
Kelly said, "Who would AZ have? Alice Cooper Field? Yeah, I would see him sponsoring the Sun Devils for sure.
All right.
That would be funny though to go through and to figure out some of the different local like artists that would be the most likely to be the naming rights. But the other big NFL news today is Aiyuk. Now they keep going back and forth, but now it looks like he is going to be traded. Originally, the Steelers, Patriots, and Browns. Apparently, the Steelers were kind of out of the mix. Now they're getting back into the mix. But the word is that the 49ers basically have the framework of the different trades worked out with these at least with the Patriots and the Browns, and it's up to Aiyuk to basically pick which contract he likes best. What do you think would be the best fit for him, and where do you think he'll end up landing?
It's funny. I hate all three of these teams. Like for real. Like as a Ravens fan, I guess the Browns. Like never liked the Patriots, and I hate the Steelers probably the most. You know what I'm saying? But and it also sucks. I actually like Brandon Aiyuk. But I think for him, I think best bet right now, win now, is definitely probably the Browns. A lot of talent on that team from top to bottom. You know what I mean? There's still really Watson, for whatever reason, is still struggling from the quarterback perspective. Like he still hasn't gotten his touchback
level.
You know, he's not got a touchback yet. But you missed 2 years and the league passes you up. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not that surprised. We have no idea. We have no idea what's going to happen with the Patriots. How good they're going to be. Young quarterbacks, new coach, but that coach has been around that team for a while. So we're probably not going to see much change, honestly. Steelers, in my opinion, the best head coach. You know what I mean? So from a winning perspective, it's probably them. But I have to say the Browns. I think they have the best team from top to bottom. They have a really good defense, and they have a lot of offensive pieces for him to just jump in and fit in right away. But one football, so how many times are you going to get the ball? You still got, Aiyuk. There's Aiyuk, obviously. Cooper. We also got Njoku, and then the running backs, obviously, and then they also added a homeboy from Denver as well.
Jerry Jeudy.
Jerry Jeudy. So, but at the same time, if you go there, like he automatically becomes number 2. You know what I mean? Number 1 if homeboy can't stay healthy, honestly. But we'll see, man. We'll see.
So there was talk that Cooper could be included going back the other way in the trade. That would be crazy because I feel like the 49ers would be like, okay, cool. Like they could find a way to do that. And Cooper's still really good and really productive. But I don't know because – and then the Patriots, they were talking about potentially Kendrick Bourne coming back, which I think maybe the 49ers are like, all right, we can craft him up, you know what I'm saying, get him open or whatever.
Exactly.
The Patriots, I think, would probably pay him the most, and they're trying to lure him that way. But, yeah, I think the Browns, depending on what they give up, might be the best bet, or maybe the Steelers just because their offense is coming back, and they have our boy George Pickens over there. They got 2 quarterbacks, so we'll see. Anthony Weston said not a hotbed for offensive teams. That's for sure. I think wherever he goes, he has a down year compared to being in the offense he is.
Oh, for sure. That's why I think, dude, Amari Cooper goes to the 49ers. That's insane because one of the best things about that offense is that, number 1, is great at finding receivers in stride. His accuracy is phenomenal, honestly.
Yeah.
And and their receivers don't really get hurt too often because they're always so open. They're phenomenal at getting receivers open. So, you imagine Amari Cooper not being hit very often, you know what I mean, or hit very hard. So, like, he might have a very successful, non-injury type season being at the 49ers. So, it's unfortunate them not getting a deal done, but, 49ers is just one of those teams where it's like next man up. Our offense rolls no matter who's with us. So, it's kind of tricky.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know. We'll see if he ends up regretting it or not. But it's pretty crazy how many times this has gone back and forth. The other team reportedly, though, that they did give him credit for or to give him permission to like negotiate with was the Commanders, but they quickly said that they were out because of the compensation that the 49ers wanted back. So
Yeah.
it's funny though that they still gave him the opportunity to potentially land back with his boy. Pop says, yeah, 49ers want a wide receiver in the trade. Pat's willing to pay him top 5 wide receiver average.
Dang.
So it's like, if you want the money, there you go.
I get it, man. They've got some really young, talent at the quarterback position. They drafted a quarterback, so I get it. It's makes it easier for a young quarterback to have a number one receiver off rip. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
I can definitely see that.
That'll be interesting. All right. Wallace and Ladmo Field, that would be gangster. Anthony West said Magic City Stadium for MC Magic. Anthony West, he also says Chiefs offer Kadarius Toney and Sky Moore.
Dog, for reals.
On behalf of the Chiefs delegation.
I'd be hot if they ended up with that dude. I'm like, oh my god,
man. No, yeah. I think it's going to come down to one of these 3 teams. I don't know. I don't even know who it's going to end up being, but I think maybe the Patriots, if he's going after the money, we'll see.
Yeah.
Top 5 wide receiver average is really good.
That's what he wants. He wants the contract. I think it's like, yes, it's nice to be able to win a Super Bowl, but you know what I mean? It's at a certain point in time, you definitely want, especially as a football player, like you want that payout too. You know what I mean? Like, you really want that payout. At the end of the day, Super Bowl doesn't really do much for you in the once you're done football doesn't do much for you, but the money does. So
right. You got to get that treasure back. You know what I'm saying? You got to get that, stack that paper.
You know what I'm saying? Absolutely.
All right. The other question I guess I had, there was some people that are going to be staying out of preseason. McCaffrey, he has a calf injury. He won't be playing. Kyler Murray, he's going to sit out all of preseason. Now, Bryce Young, they talked about him being out at least the first game, but I wanted to just get your opinion and the Slackers as well. Are you a kind of like play in the preseason at least some kind of guy, or you're okay with your team like holding your people out till game 1?
I think it depends. You know what I mean? Like it's always nice to get a little tune-up. You know what I mean? If you're a veteran quarterback, you've got your spot locked in. Maybe you go in for a series. You know what I'm saying? Like get in for a series. You get it in, you kind of fill things out, you're done, right? Like I'm cool. Let the other guys get in for, the rest of this game and then games 2 and 3. For someone like Bryce, like it sucks because like I feel like I talked about this last season too. A lot of his play last year was placed on the coaching staff, and I get it. The coaching staff was really bad.
Yeah,
he wasn't good either.
Right?
He wasn't, man. Like I watched all those games. I watched his passes. I watched the accuracy. Like nothing was that. There was Cam. I think when Cam got drafted, and I think we won 6 games or 7 games his rookie year, something like that. Maybe 6 games. But there was a lot to be hopeful for.
Yeah,
like his first game against the Arizona Cardinals, man, like over 400 yards passing. I think that record still holds to this day. Like, you know what I mean? Like it was a lot. You know what I mean? He's coming off a champion. Like there was a lot to be hopeful for with Cam, and there was nothing I liked last year at all. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't have a very strong arm. He's gonna have to hit guys, open and close. I don't know, man. Like I get it. Dave Canales, totally different coach, so I have high hopes this year. But I think for me, someone like Bryce, like he needs reps against guys who are trying to hurt him, not so much guys who aren't. Right? It's so much easier when you're looking at these videos on Instagram. And you're like, oh my god, like these passes that Bryce was throwing look great, but he doesn't have to work. No one's gonna touch him at all. You know what I'm saying? At any point in time, like. Do not touch, our starting franchise quarterback, our future, or we hope to be our future. So,
not the same.
Yeah, he needs the reps against guys who are actually trying to get to him. We need to see how the offensive line is going to hold up against guys who are actually trying to get to Bryce. So, like he needs all the reps that he can get, in my opinion. And we got some receivers for you, dog. Like Xavier Leggetti is the real deal. Like, he's a beast. You know what I'm saying? You're bringing your favorite guy, Adam Thielen, back. We got Johnson from the Steelers, who has been their best receiver over the years. So you got talent now. Let's see how you can put this all together. But I really feel like this is for me, even in just year 2, it's make or break for me. Like, I need to see a lot this year, dog. Like, and if I don't see it, I'm ready for a new quarterback next year. Because if he just doesn't show me anything, I don't even think I need year 3. Like, I need to see so much more from him, more than anything this year.
Yeah, I feel it. Because it's like, if you don't have something to build on from this year, it's like, where do you go from there, you know?
Exactly. Especially when the coach in general, too, has done so much for other quarterbacks that probably aren't even as talented as, you know, he was supposed to be, right?
Yeah.
You know, his last 3 quarterbacks, you look at how struggle Russell Wilson had over the last 2 seasons. You know, he had Russell Wilson, you know, in MVP conversations. You know what I'm saying? The Bucks, how well they did last year, and quarterback at Seattle too, who took over for Russ. I'm drawing a blank on his name, but like, all of those guys, he did so many good things for, and they are not the same after he left. So I think what he does for quarterbacks is huge. So that's another reason why my expectations for Bryce this year are probably higher than they should be. But it's like, dog, we gave him everything for you, dog. Like, literally everything, and you didn't even show up to be the best quarterback last year, dog. So, you know, as a Panther fan, it's like I don't know. We're tired of sucking. That's the thing. Like, we need to see something else.
Yeah, I feel it. I feel it for sure. I think so too. I want to see him out there in the preseason some. I hope he does play.
Yeah.
But yeah, for my veterans and stuff like that, I would still want them to get into at least a series or 2, like you said. Yeah. I think it's like the process of like getting dressed, like getting your uniform on, like going out, you know what I'm saying? Like getting yourself like warmed up for that opening, you know. I feel like it's good to kind of go through that at least once, to kind of have at least a dress rehearsal. But Anthony says he doesn't see the point of preseason other than fringe guys. College football players don't get a preseason. And that is true, but sometimes they suffer because they come out in that first game, like, you know, not organized. Exactly. So I agree, though. Like, you don't really have to play your guys, but at the same time, if you are going to have a preseason, at least, you know, use it to your advantage a little bit.
Right.
So we'll see. Pop says Daniels is going to play week 1 for the Commanders. No, I think that's cool though. No, I think we'll see. I think he'll be good.
I'm sorry. Which Daniels? My bad. Which Daniels? My fault.
For the Commanders.
Okay, my bad. I take that back. My bad, Pops.
I was like, wait, what? But yeah.
No, I'm thinking Giants. I'm thinking Giants. Daniels.
Oh, yeah. Got you.
Yeah, my fault. I'll take that back. I like that kid. That kid's nice.
I know. I want to see what he comes out with.
Me too.
Stephanie says still not sure who starting quarterback for the Raiders is. I know. I think it's going to be Aiden O'Connell, but you never know. Gardner Minshew finds a way to start somewhere everywhere he goes. So
yeah,
I don't know.
I think when you're thinking about your future, you stick with Aiden. I don't know if he's their future, but you know, when they went on that winning streak at the end of the season last year, it was him at the helm. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I think you stick with him.
Yeah, for sure. All right, that's what's up. I think we'll wrap it up right there. We do have a bunch of these what was I going to say? A bunch of schedules ready, man. We got a lot of schedules to do. Still, we're gonna have to get to them at some point, but they're pretty much all ready to go over here. So at some point soon, we'll get to our schedules because we have only 30 days until the kickoff of the NFL. So I think only like 3 more shows before. So we'll see. Anthony West says they don't know either. Stephanie.
Yeah.
Skip Bayless fired from FS1. Oh. John Gruden in Chiefs camp. Dang.
Maybe that was funny. He was wearing a Chiefs. I think me and Anthony were talking about it, man. You know, the whole Raiders with the frog thing or whatever. So they brought John Gruden to camp for a day. He was wearing a Chiefs t-shirt and everything.
That's funny. That's like they're doing their mind games back. I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. But that's what's up. We'll keep this thing moving though. We'll be back next week with episode 259 already.
Yeah.
But until then, I want to say like a champ, as always, thank you all for rocking with us. and keeping the comments coming. And as always, shout out to our brother Matt Marcus. We love him so much and appreciate his support on the show. Other than that, it's your boy A-Dub.
And your boy Strizzy.
Peace.